Alright, just a quick little stop in Gila Bend. A couple gallons of gas and a little bit of a break. Fill up and empty out, you know how it is. And on my way back up old US 80. Just stopped along old US 80. Little housing development that never really developed into anything. Man-made lake out in the desert. It's a really nice day, but I had a viewer left a comment asking me to talk about the frame sliders that I put on my bike, and so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to just talk about a couple other things since the frame sliders are really basic. What I went with was, they are made by Shogun, and I got them off of Revzilla. And this is just a reflector that I had for my bicycle. Seems like a good spot to put it. They're just your basic frame sliders, so they're really simple to install. And the left side is slightly longer because of the design of the motorcycle. And basically just unbolt the bolt that actually bolts the engine to the frame. And this big aluminum piece, it's not plastic, this is all frame. It's a cast aluminum. And so you unbolt that and bolt in the frame slider. Now this frame slider here on the left side actually did see some action back in October. I laid the bike down, more of a slow tip over than really a crash, but it did scratch up the frame slider. Of course, I've since turned it so the damaged side is on the bottom, so it doesn't really show so much. Now it did take a lot of the hit, and then my oh, that's hot, yeah. And then my stator cover the paint got a little bit scratched, so I was able to fix that up. So I have been considering a different set of sliders. GV makes a crash bar, and I'm gonna just slip this back on. And I kind of like the looks of that, but the crash bar from GV, G-I-V-I, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It attaches here, and then there's another attachment point down by the brake lever. And the bar comes all the way up, and looks like it gets pretty good protection. And I may eventually do that. I mean, the primary way to do all this, to manage that, is just to not lay the bike down. But sometimes that doesn't work, and I think that the GV crash bars, because there's a couple of different ones, but I think the GV seems to cover the best, and it seems like the most value for the money. I've looked around at a couple of different ones, but it's not it's not high on a priority, because these seem to work fairly well for my needs. But no matter what crash bar I put on the front, nothing is really going to protect the bag. So I don't know that anybody makes anything that could protect that. I mean, it would have to be something that attaches out here that comes out. Don't know if somebody watching this knows of anything. I would be interested to look at it, because bags on the Yamaha are pretty expensive. So I'm do my best not to damage it. While we're talking about sliders, I have the R&G Racing fork sliders that I actually took right off of my Kawasaki Versys before I sold it. And these were specifically for the Kawasaki Versys. I took them off, and what do you know? It's the same hole size, the same everything. It just bolted right on. And these are about, they're a similar material as the Shogun frame sliders. So it gives you just a little bit of protection. in case you end up sliding it, laying it on the side, so you'll scratch up the slider. And Shogun also makes this swing arm slider. This one in itself is not Shogun. I bought this on Amazon some time ago. I don't recall the brand, but it's machined aluminum, and it was anodized, and the anodize was starting to fade, so I put some paint on it. It was actually starting to look brown, so the anodize being out in the sun. But it works pretty well as far as like attaching my jack. But I took it off of the Kawasaki and I put it on this, and it seems to work just perfect. Again, just gives you just a little bit of protection, but obviously, if this lays down, the hard bags is gonna take the real beating. Now today is the first day that I've ridden with the new V-Stream windshield, and picked up a few bugs along the way. To and from Gila Bend. So, but this is actually it's made of polycarbonate, and the V-Stream the V-Stream windshield comes with a 3-year warranty, a full everything warranty from what I understand, from fading, cracking, breaking, any of the hardware. It also had its own hardware, and so the other windshield attached where I put these plugs, and so this has got a slightly different angle. It's a lesser angle, and it seems to work fairly well. The wind kind of comes up, and it's at the lowest position. The wind is catching me at about the top of my visor on my helmet. I am getting a few lesser bugs on my visor than I was getting before, but the biggest thing that I noticed, especially at the higher speeds, is I'm getting less of a wind load on my helmet. And for short rides it really wasn't an issue, but for longer rides the greater wind load just really kind of tires me out. I was actually feeling it in my neck because I was constantly being pushed back, especially at the higher speeds. But with this one, the wind is a lot more calm. I still have plenty of airflow behind the windshield, but it's not turbulent at all. It's not jostling me around, even on the freeway with the semi trucks. You still get a lot of turbulence, and I can feel it in the bike, but I'm not feeling it in my body anymore. So for long distance rides, I found this is I've been pretty happy with this so far. Like I said, I only had it for one day. Now the profile is somewhat different. The Yamaha windshield just came down here. It didn't have any of this other protection, and then it kind of came up right about there. So this is the medium height. The tall height is clear, and it's about another 3 inches taller. There is another one that's a sport windscreen, which is dark tint, and so I kind of went the medium. And so far so good. I've been running it on the lowest setting, and we'll see how it does in the long term. The next thing that I do end up changing, that it just reminded myself here that I'm not happy with, is the clutch handle. The clutch lever doesn't have any kind of an adjustment for adjusting the take up. I mean, you have the regular adjuster, and you have the one on the side of the engine. But the brake lever does have an adjustment. And on my Kawasaki, both levers had an adjustment. So probably the next thing that I do upgrade will be the levers. And you really can't buy one just like this, because Yamaha doesn't make a factory one. So I mean, I'm okay with the silver, but I may find something that's black. I found one that was made by Puig. It was black anodized with an orange adjustment lever, so it looked like it was about the same color as the fork. So I may do that. I don't know yet. I would like to have it have a little bit of an adjustment to pull it back just a little bit, so if I do any kind of an upgrade, that's going to be the next thing that I do. Microwave. Gila River.